Hey, Pastor, doesn't science disprove the Bible?
Isn't Genesis just a fairy tale?
Is God for real? Did he really create everything in 6 literal days?
Didn't God just use the Big Bang?
Why is there death and suffering? Do you really believe the Bible?
Didn't man evolve from apes?
For answers to these questions and more, stand by for Believing the Bible.
Welcome to Believing the Bible. This is Scott Lane with Ed Salzadell, our producer, both directors at the San Antonio Bible-Based Science Association. We are here to reassure you can believe the Bible from the very first verse. Today we have again with us special guests and Dave and Mary Jo Nutting, founders of the Alpha Mega Institute. 40 years ago, they put together that organization that has been spreading creation science and the gospel to both people here in the U.S. and internationally. We always want to remind you that you can get into their ministry at their website at discovercreation.org. Dave and Mary Jo, welcome, and tell us about what you offer at AOI today.
Well, one of the things we like to offer, of course, are the seminars we're doing here in Texas. Not only that, but we also love to do the creation tours. Be able to give you a Christian tour and creation tour of Yellowstone National Park and also of Costa Rica. We find out that people really appreciate the fact that they can not only hear about the evidence, but actually be there and witness it for themselves. And there's so much amazing design wherever you look. So, beautiful place, Costa Rica, beautiful place in Yellowstone, and then we do other tours as well in western Colorado and into Utah, even the Grand Canyon. Canyonlands, Arches National Park. And so if anybody wants a Christian and creation tour of any of these places, go to discovercreation.org/camp-tours, and you get in on that.
Excellent. Now, y'all have a training academy and a gap year program that is not just for students, but describe that and what's there.
Yeah, the gap year program is called Discover Creation Training Adventure, and students will come. Now, this particular gap year program mostly for, say, 18 to 24, that age bracket, but it doesn't have to be. We could have older students who wanted to come. But that's a one-year program in creation science, in the Bible, and biblical worldviews. It includes lots of field trips. It includes hands-on activities. It includes the opportunity to go out on campus and witness on a secular campus and do other ministry. Students coming out of that should be able to put together some simple programs themselves, be able to share the creation message with others. And so it's really meant to be a training year or a gap between high school and college, or say some student is in the middle of college, just tired of getting bombed with evolutionary teaching, they could come to that gap year. Or if they're completed their work and they want the other side of the story. And so that's one of the kinds of training we do. We're also looking to train more people who are early retirees.
Like military.
Or others who would like to get into doing more creation teaching themselves. And so that does not require moving to Grand Junction, and it does not require as much time. And so we can individualize that program.
We'll also do the training via Zoom for those who can't even come out to Grand Junction for any length of time at all.
One of the big needs right now is we've had a children's ministry team, and they are ready to retire, and we keep not quite letting them retire because we need them so badly. So we would love to train some people who are able to do children's ministry, who really have that on their heart, because it's so very important to catch those kids when they're younger.
And the need is great, too. We could probably keep at least a dozen children's ministry teams busy.
Well, I think I hear 2 goals out of this training academy. One is to equip students before they get into college to be able to handle all the challenges that they are given to a biblical worldview once they get into college. But the second is you're trying to duplicate yourself.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep. We need to multiply.
Now, your website and your organization has a store. What's available there?
A lot of good books on creation versus evolution. Some amazing things. A lot of DVDs. That's in our store. But also on our website, too, you can go on and pick up some of our videos that we've done, like our crash classes, where we're really hoping that students are prepared for the onslaught they're going to get when they get into public education. So those are all there are thousands of articles also on our website too that deal with the creation versus evolution, specific questions and answers. We have a search if you want to search for a particular topic. And if AOI hasn't covered it, well, you can expand the search criteria to include 6 other creation organizations. And so we're one of the few organizations that will actually link to these other websites.
One of the things I tell people, and we make it available when I do a seminar, is y'all's video series. What's the name of your basic video series?
Discover Creation.
Discover Creation, I believe, is the best value in creation science because it is so compact and yet so affordable compared to so many other video packets.
Yeah, right now, our special on that one is, $30 or $35? And they give the 12 videos that can be used in Sunday school, homeschool, any kind of format, basically. And that includes a really good, full-color, 70-page study guide with it. And the pictures and the slides used in those programs are there with the bullet point of the facts. So this is a very important resource for somebody who really would like to study more and or even teach creation themselves.
We have those subtitled in Spanish, and we also have a children's DVD series that goes with the Vacation Bible School program.
That's great. You are listening to Believing the Bible. This is Scott Lane with Ed Salzadell. If you would like to learn more, go to sabsa.org. That is SABBSA.org. Today, again, we're talking with Dave and Mary Jo Nutting from the Alpha Omega Institute. Y'all have a number of speakers besides yourselves. Stepanek, Mariani.
Yep. Yep, the Johnsons, Lanny and Marilyn Johnson, our children's ministry team.
That's the people who want to retire, but you won't let them.
That's right. They've been with us for over 30 years. Rich and Sue Stepanek, they're still going strong. Rich loves to teach on Genesis 1, 2, and 3.
Which is an exceptional teaching.
Yep. And then several others that are doing teaching for the school, for the Gap Year program and the training programs, outreach on the campus.
I'm glad you mentioned outreach on the campus. That has become a focus of y'all's in terms of reaching college students. Why?
They're getting bombed by evolution, and not only by evolution, but all kinds of anti-God philosophies. And we're looking to be able to bring the kids over to our place across the street, virtually from the Colorado Mesa University. So we want to make sure they get over so they can get some discipling and be able to answer some of those hard questions. We do have some very good teaching staff that are more involved with that aspect of our ministry. We have Brian Mariani, who's actually spoken down here too in Texas, and Scott Mauser, a walking encyclopedia on creation and worldviews. He does a tremendous job, and now we have Adam Bledsoe that's also joined that campus ministry.
But I'll tell you why we do it, because we were on campus in Minnesota at one point, and there was a young lady there who was the head of the atheist department. And I talked to her up front before we started the program, and she said, she had grown up in a Christian home, and
her dad was a pastor.
Yeah, and I said, what happened? You're now the head of the atheist club. She said 6 weeks of biology class. That was all it took to destroy her faith. And so we want to catch those students early on, and then the Christian students to stand strong, but then also to reach out to the atheist students, or the skeptics, as they might be called, or a lot of times, they think they're an atheist, but they're really an agnostic.
Now, I want to emphasize that not only do y'all have the Training Academy and the Gap Year program there in Grand Junction, but also y'all have an extensive amount that you've talked about with online programs. You have this online academy or teaching in a shorter format, but y'all also have some special classes y'all do online that we have offered to people via registrations here. What kind of teaching has been available with that?
Well, we do Creation Evolution Crash Class, and somebody emails me with questions or maybe about this crash class, we can point you to the right direction. But this is for young people and adults to give them basic material that they can combat this evolutionary philosophy. And I say philosophy because evolution isn't science. It's a philosophy,
right,
posing as science. And once the students understand what's going on, they're not so easily deceived. So Creation versus Evolution Crash Class, it's on our YouTube. But people can email me, Dave Nutting at discovercreation.org.
The other thing we can do is to set up something for individual groups if they want. You know, if they wanted to have a seminar, but they didn't have the time or we weren't available to come for a longer period of time, we could do something like that online also.
We can do a Zoom Sunday school class if somebody is predisposed to that.
Excellent. That is all excellent. Looking at your website, you have a blog, you have articles, a huge array of articles, because your search engine not only looks at your articles, but those from other creation groups. And you have your Think and Believe newsletter, which I believe is available both by email and by snail mail. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yes, it is. We'd encourage you to get it, actually, if you can, to get on the snail mail, because there's always a children's page in there.
Right.
And the kids, I think the adults go to that page first.
I think
you'll see that this evening. We've got a member at SABSA, and one of the first things they'll do when we go back to the free table is go back to Think and Believe so that they can get out the children's section.
Oh, yeah. And that's another reason for getting an in-hand copy as well,
right.
Because they can give it out to Uncle Bill out here that needs to hear this information.
We thank you for this ministry. We thank the Lord for his support. We will remind you again that you can follow this ministry at discovercreation.org. Believing the Bible now has a new way you can support our ministry and get some great gifts. For a donation of $10 or more, we will email you a copy of Repetition in the Bible by Jack Cassione, which shows the Bible to be a self-proving document and shows God's protection of his word over the ages. For a donation of $25 or more, we will also mail you a copy of Scott Lane's book, What If God Wrote the Bible, showing 6 things we should find in the world and in the Bible if God is the author of the Bible. To get these great gifts, send your check or money order to SABSA at 7620 Avery, Live Oak, Texas, 78233. That's SABBSA at 7620 Avery Road, Live Oak, Texas, 78233. This information for ordering is also on our contact page at sabsa.org. Information for creation events in our area are on our website's calendar page. For more information or to schedule a presentation, go to sabsa.org or call 210-599-7240. When you go to our website, you can click on a link to our newsletter. Our website has a link for contact information on which you can order our newsletter to be emailed to you, or you can call us. Also go to whyshouldyoubelieve.com. That is Terry's website containing articles looking at current day issues from a biblical perspective. SABSA meets the second Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. We are now meeting at Faith Lutheran Church just south of the corner of Jones Maltzberger and Thousand Oaks. There you will find biblical apologetics and creation science teaching found nowhere else in Bexar County, as well as the availability of books and videos on these important subjects. If you missed any part of this show, you can listen to the show anytime by going to the AM 630 KSLR, the Word in South Texas website. Click on KSLR Podcast, scroll down until you find Believing the Bible. Please join us again next Saturday for Believing the Bible. I'm Scott Lane, and for Terry Reed, Dr. Carl Williams, and Ed Saltzfeld, thanks for listening, and we hope you found today a reason to believe the Bible.